Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Gex Enter the Gecko. We have made it to the finale. This is it. Channel Z, all static, all the time. This is where we fight Rez. Once we do it, that's it, it's over. There's a gold remote here, amazingly. Not sure why that is. There's nothing left to unlock. But we do get one for beating Rez in the final battle, should we do it. All we need to do is take this platform. And when you make it up to the top, there will be a health pickup for you to grab. You want to make sure to grab it so that way you can give yourself 5 hits instead of 4. Now for this battle there are 2 forms, and this is the first one. In case Rez hits the wall instead of the energy field, just hit him with a tail whip, and you'll send them into the wall. And I can't believe I'm going left for this. This feels really awkward. You want to keep long jumping around the room in an attempt to avoid being hit by rockets. Hit him with a tail whip when he hits the wall, or have him run into the energy field himself. You will have to repeat this twice after the first hit. The second form, which is going to happen right now, is where things get a little different. This is where a lot of players are going to die. First off, you want to jump over his arm when he swipes at you. And you also want to avoid the eye lasers by using the long jump. You then want to go to this tower with all the green light coming out of it. You want him to hit it, and you also want to avoid the fist that hits it as it comes down. Watch which arm he uses so that way you're not taken aback. And thankfully, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. Now the thing is, whenever he hits the energy tower, a huge TV will come down and fall on Rez. As you do damage to him, he does more fist swipes at the beginning before the eye laser, and less of those hammer fists after it. Which means it's going to be really hard to get Rez to hit the energy tower near the end of the battle. And I'm obviously not going to reach that. And you do have a limited time to get to that energy tower. Otherwise, the energy tower will go recess down into the floor, and you will have to do all this again in order to get to another energy tower. I should have long jumped there. I keep forgetting I have the long jump there. You don't have a choice. This will probably take a few attempts. Probably the hardest part of doing all this is the hammer fists, because you have to pay close attention to which arm that Rez is using when he does them, and then jump away from that arm accordingly. Finally, now I can go to the right and make this less awkward for me. And almost jumped right there into the energy field, but that's okay. Thankfully, I didn't get hit.
You are my secret plan.
Huh. Apparently you just have to keep running and just make sure you don't get hit by the explosives. Not necessarily needing to. Ah, that's just perfect. It's better to have them lined up with the energy field there. So that way, he actually takes... Now I'm losing hits against this guy. Are you kidding me? I had that extra hit ready for the second form, and now I don't have it anymore. All because of bad luck with the first form. Beautiful. And now I have to do this again. And hopefully I have to do this without getting hit horribly. I don't know why I'm running to the right. You don't necessarily need to do what I'm doing. And I should have jumped away from the arm and not towards it. But you know what? Oh well. As long as I don't get hit during the second hit, or during the trying to hit res a second time, I should say, this shouldn't be too much of a problem. And having his arm itself hit it doesn't count. You have to make sure his hand actually hits the little thing that comes out of the floor, or else you're not going to get the hit. And I'm obviously not going to reach that. That didn't even hit it. And it has to hit it cleanly too, which is annoying as anything. And then you had to run and make a long jump to avoid the eye laser. Thankfully, you only have to do it at least once. And thankfully, I remembered to look at the arm, notice it was coming in from the right, and jump to the left. Now we got 3 swipes, followed by the lasers, followed by the 1 hammer fist. How are we going to do this? Well, at least as long as I don't have to... Ooh, I was so close. I hesitated there a little bit. Not too much. I had the feeling I was going to get hit, and I didn't know if I was going to make that in time. Figuring this out a little better, though. And we did it! Bye, Rez! Only on the second try! I am honestly pleased with myself. And with that third hit, Rez spins around like crazy and dies, and he turns into a little ball of static, and he just flies off.
Yeah, right. How can you be my father?
It's true. I didn't always look like this. I fell into a scrap heap while trying to get free cable.
And your point is...
No! No! Don't do it! I'll do anything. I know Tarantino's Gardner's fiancé. I could probably get you a meeting.
Okay then, Dad. How's about we forget all this and go play catch in the yard? Pardon my tongue, darling.
Come over here, you big stud.
And that is it for Gex 2. I thought this would take me more than 2 tries to beat Rez, but apparently I beat him on the 2nd try. And because we beat the game 100%, we get all of this concept art just like we did in the first game. We also get some other stuff, such as some magazine covers from when the first Gex game was around, when that game came out. As well as some, I guess, some game covers for the second game when it was being previewed, which is pretty good. I have never seen any of this before, but I really thought this was going to take more than 2 tries. I'm surprised it took me that quickly to beat Rez. He's a lot harder than he is in the first game, that's for sure. So, now that we've beaten this game 100%, how does this game measure up? Well, I don't really see it as being exactly as good as the first game was. The first game was pretty good. It was a little easier. The platform wasn't as precision in the first game as it was in the second. So trying to beat that game was a little bit easier.
From the home office in Kapolowani, Maui, the top 10 reasons why it's cool to be me, Gex.
And
Number 10.
what was I thinking of?
Blouses when hanging from ceiling. Number 9.
Oh yeah.
Michael Izod means no longer having
Collecting the collectibles in the second game is a little easier too.
Number 8. Ladies love a Gecko's.
Can't believe I lost a complete trail of thought while Gex was talking there.
Number 7. Able
And
to Kermit the Frog's butt. Number 6. Perfect star for Hollywood.
I know that you had to go through crazy bonus games, some of which were pretty much borderline frustrating in the first game, but at least it wasn't as bad here.
My mistake. That goes with the son of Ross Perot top template.
I forgot to elaborate on the platforming. Some of the platforming, it feels very, very precision, especially because you are now in 3D as opposed to 2D. You have to really have to remember that you have to be on the edges of platforms. You have to know when to do a regular jump and when to do a long jump. And it can be either really good and really easy for you, or it can be frustrating. It was both in some aspects. My mileage really varied with the platforming. And I'm really not sure how to say this, but the game is a lot harder, and while the game is still good, I'm not sure if I'd want to play through it again unless I really wanted to challenge myself after not having played it for a couple of years. That's it, really. I don't know. I mean, the gameplay isn't too terrible. I love the sound of the music. Just the platforming and the level design kind of throws me off a bit, and I just don't really like that aspect of the game. And it says to press X to continue because you've already gone through the short credits. And if you do that, does it do anything? Oh, by the way, the woman in the 100% cutscene, the one where Gex is in the tuxedo, that's Nikki from Pandemonium, another game from the PS1 era by Crystal Dynamics. And what happens if I load? I'm pretty sure it will give me the gold remote, and it will give me 100%. Well, I guess you can't really save your 100%, and you can't really get your gold remote. So we do have everything. So this save file is staying at 98% for pretty much forever. So basically, my final thoughts, this is a pretty good game. It's not stupendous or anything. It's not, well, it's okay. The platforming drove me nuts in some parts, other times it was a breeze. It just depends on whether or not I remember to stay on the edge of the platforms, remembered where to go, remembered when and when not to do a regular jump and to use a long one instead. Other than that, it's kind of worth picking up for the collection. It kind of is worth playing. So be prepared for a challenge if you want everything. And I guess that's basically all that I have to say for Gecko 2. Enter the Gecko. I feel like my final thoughts were a bit of a mess. Then again, I didn't expect to beat Rez that quickly, and I've never really thought about what to say concerning my final thoughts until now. I knew it was an okay game. I just didn't know exactly how to say it was an okay game. But it is an okay game. I mean, there's no harm in picking this one up. Be prepared for a little bit of a challenge, though. And don't know if I'm saying that just because I've played through Gex as a kid and beaten it as an adult 100%, and never touched the sequels until now, or because this game is actually a little more challenging than the first one just because it went to 3D. Kinda hard to tell for me personally. But it does feel a little more difficult in some aspects. So go ahead and pick this one up. You'll probably be able to find it for cheap. So that is it. That is all I have to say about Gex Enter the Gecko. Hopefully I will be back with another game. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad, maybe it'll be somewhere in between, who knows. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, thanks for watching, and see you guys later.